One of your full-time jobs in Hollywood is to form relationships that don't matter. Think of a pack of craft singles. Even the closest friendships in the town are covered in plastic to hide the fact that they aren't really cheese and are held together only through the bonds of static electricity. One of the things you have to do with your friends at work is get coffee. I don't drink coffee, but I do now because it's part of my social contract. You could have 7 or 8 cups of coffee in your hand and balancing 2 on your feet and 1 on your head, and your boss could ask you, "Do you want to get a cup of coffee?" And you would say, "Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to get some coffee with you. I was actually just thinking about coffee." More often than not, I'd pretend to sip my coffee and then throw away a $7 macchiato at the end of a meeting. You might ask, well, why wouldn't you just get tea? Here's the thing. In the industry, no one respects anyone who drinks tea. That's 100% true. One of my favorite coffee stories is when my boss took myself and 3 others to Starbucks to discuss a sequel for an animated children's franchise. Just for the sake of argument, let's say Angry Birds 3. Here's some notes from that meeting. 1. Should we cast Keanu Reeves as president or Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? 2. What's the viability of a 3D film in today's market? My boss announces, "I hate Arab people." Again, the topic was Angry Birds 3. The rest of us just sat there dumbfounded. For context, this is pre-Me Too. This was just the Me movement at the time. Me being whoever was the most powerful person around you was in charge, and whatever they said went. Being a Hollywood underling, this was a perfect time for me to keep my mouth shut. I made $10 an hour. I was working on a script that one day I hoped she would produce, and I was 2 weeks away from health insurance. The correct response is to change the subject, or agree wholeheartedly. Because damn it, it is my dream to write the best script about a paraplegic dog the world has ever seen. And I'm not giving up on my dreams. But at the time, I still had a sense of humanity. So I said, when you say you hate all Arab people, do you mean all of them? Like, all of them? There was a brief pause. Then she said, "Yes, of course." Everyone else seated at the table then took the longest sip of coffee in history. My cup was piping hot, so I scorched my tongue for about 30 seconds, wishing I knew more about Arab history than I did. But I'm ignorant too. Not an I hate all type of people ignorant, but I grew up in a white suburb. I didn't just have fun facts up my sleeve like Steve Jobs is half Aryan. So I finished my coffee, and then I pretended I was drinking it for about 30 more seconds. And then my boss broke the silence. She said, "I'm sorry." Oh, thank God. I don't have to quit my job. Everyone says stupid things every once in a while, right? My parents have. I love them. Well, they don't hate a whole group. They just hate specific members of our family. But nonetheless, hate is hate. Then she said, "I'm sorry, but I do." Oh, the old apologize, I forgive you, then you take it back trick. Classic. So I made fun of her a little bit, and then everyone else just moved on to make Angry Birds 3. I eventually lost that job, not for my stand against bigotry, but because I fucked up a coffee order. But most importantly, I learned another Hollywood lesson. Never apologize. Apologies are for the weak. Be strong, like your coffee.